Hello everyone and welcome to Usitility. Today we are going to see how to play Madtale on PC using the brand new BlueStacks 5, that is designed for blazing fast speed and high-octane action. We will be able to easily download and install Madtale and enjoy the game on our Windows PC with keyboard, mouse and big screen thanks to BlueStacks 5, which is the Android emulator that we recommend to play Madtale. So without further ado, let's get to it. Before anything else folks, the first thing to do is to launch our main internet browser. We open the one we prefer. Let's continue, going to that URL I have highlighted in green color. Now, you're able to see on the PC screen. You don't need to type it, simply because I added a clickable link in the description of this video and as well in the first pinned comment. We arrived here on the internet site of Usitility, in which we find here a meticulous information on how you can download and install Madtale on PC. We browse down a little bit and just click on the Download Game on PC button. Once clicking on that link, we reach the site of BlueStacks. No panic, it is only the Android emulator that we will launch to get access to this game Madtale on PC. It is now obvious that we get several advantages of preferring that emulator. Then, we are on the way to proceed to download the Madtale by simply clicking on this button Play on BlueStacks that I have marked in green color. We then click on the button. Of course, the download takes no time at all. Voila, here is located the download. It is an executable file. What we have to do is to run the executable file, so we have to click on the file. Windows 10 users will be asked for permission to make modifications to the system. We answered yes. I reduce the web browser to see the installation software significantly better. The installation software is straightforward. It is made up of two choices, install and setup path. I will make it clear what setup path really does. We simply click on it. And now we see that we end up with here the path where in fact the emulator is going to be set up. If we have to change for better this directory we must click on the Browse option, so we select another folder and set up the emulator wherever we wish. To keep it simple, just set it as it is. I click on Back, and therefore I pick Install. Great. The install starts and it's going to move forward along with the download of all these MB that happens to be presented on the screen. The time you download it, it is likely to be a little more or less MB. The download rate could go at a higher speed or slower, subject to your internet and according to the speed capacity of the emulator hosting servers. Right now they're going very fast. The download is finished, and now it proceeds with the installation phase. With BlueStacks 5 you can even reduce RAM usage with a single click. Especially useful if you ever face performance-related problems. In addition, you can activate Eco Mode to enjoy 87% reduced CPU usage, 97% reduced GPU usage and easier multitasking. As you can see, BlueStacks 5 is built to provide stability and performance during long gaming sessions. The installation has already finished for me. At this point, the emulator has actually been launched on autopilot. As you will notice, down here, there's a progress bar which will move forward to the right and once it gets into the finish, the emulator is going to be launched for the first time. The reality is the emulator has already been started, here for the first time. Before we continue on, as you can discover, it created two software icons there on the computer desktop. The BlueStacks and BlueStacks multi-instance. Note that the BlueStacks app icon will be the only one we are interested in. Anytime we desire to operate Madtale on the laptop or computer, we twice click that icon and consequently launch the emulator. The BlueStacks multi-instance icon allows you to launch multiple emulator instances. And with BlueStacks 5's new improved multi-instance manager in Eco Mode, players can run more game instances faster and with less lag. We should do the following step, which is actually a requirement, and this is to visit the Google Play Store. And we'll click on Play Store. As you will notice the Google Play is presented. Here we have got to log on. At present when we're right here, we have to conduct this next phase which is mandatory. So we just click on Sign In. At this point it announces Checking Info. It can occasionally get blocked in Checking Info, and so it fails to continue. In that case, you can attempt to connect to your account after a couple of hours and it will surely most probably be sorted out. At this point we are going to provide our email and password. The email address is required to be a Gmail email address and its corresponding password. For example, you could use the same exact email you use at this moment in your own YouTube account. Thus I will enter my info and I will go back immediately after I have accomplished it. That's all, data typed. And here is Google welcoming us and supplying us their terms of service. We must accept them by simply clicking, I agree. After that, it allows us to back up to the Google Cloud. You can also let it selected and this will produce a backup of the data on that device to Google Drive. I will not check it, you can utilize this option if you wish. We click accept. The Google Play Store is launched automatically and immediately. To set up the application, we are required to get to the emulator desktop for Android by clicking the icon marked green colored. Today that we are on the desktop of this Android emulator, we notice that we find there the Install App button. We click or double click on the button. Right here we have the Android game. Let's quickly press now on the Install option that I'm highlighting now in green color. Therefore it will start the software setup. At this time it would download and install the Android game. It will take a while or it might well be amazingly quickly. This all is going to depend on our own connection to the internet. It's just finished setting up. Back to the emulator desktop by simply clicking on this option that I'm showing in green, if you want to use Madtale for the very first time. I am presently on the emulator desktop, and we are preparing to just click on the fresh Madtale app icon that's been provided. That game is started for the very first time. Now there we end up with it. I am able to press anywhere on the screen and also make use of the keyboard. I am going to talk about the volume of this emulator. It's right here. We use the icon of higher volume along with the icon of lower volume. This way we will not depend on the Microsoft Windows volume to increase or decrease the sound experience of the emulator. As well as to appreciate the experience to the fullest, we will switch on the large monitor, for which we have two alternatives. That is simply the first one. We then click on this particular software icon which I'm mentioning in green. Then the display screen is maximized, having one border on top, one on the right side and one at the bottom. Supposing that we desire to launch the application using all the screen, we hit that software icon. And we might already be experiencing the game app in 100% screen function. To escape the 100% screen functionality, push the F11 key. And we'd already end up being in regular display setting. At this moment I am going to clarify you the computer keys mapping that is really surprisingly helpful. That means we definitely will be able to use the game app far more easily. The very first task is to mouse click this app icon. It's now time to get the appropriate configuration settings. I most certainly will keep the normal configuration, but if you choose to improve it, you can easily do this with no problem. Perhaps you have realized, the emulator is completely in our own language. In some cases it occurs that your emulator is presented in the incorrect language, for example, in Chinese. Then to set it up in the right language we browse here to the cogwheel. So right here within many other options, we just click on the Language drop down. We are able to determine the language we like, English, Chinese, and so on. As soon as the language is selected, we could save, the emulator will reboot, as well as the game, next time we launch it, will as well be in the specified language. At this time, there is another information that we need to take into consideration, and this is that we will get an email indicating that a new device has been associated with our own Google account. It should question us if we're the people who have associated with that device. That's right, we must not worry, considering that the emulator is behaving like an Android tablet or smartphone. And then to see which tablet or smartphone is currently being emulated, we return right here, to the cogwheel and we simply click on it. And so we go here to the model choice. And there we notice that the emulator is simulating a Samsung mobile phone. And so we're going to receive an email saying that a new Samsung device has been connected to our Google account. This is it folks, so much for our video tutorial. I anticipate you appreciated it, especially that you found it useful. In that case, bring it a great thumb up, subscribe, and any remarks, requests or suggestions, put them in the comment field below. Mouse click on any of those instructional videos which are usually showing up on the listing of videos to watch and see you in the upcoming training videos. Bye.